Indian No More, Chapter 19, The Jacket. While Daddy tinkered with the television, Chich kept me busy helping her with a sewing project. Mrs. Hernandez had rushed over one evening with a size 42 man's jacket. Philip's confirmation at St. John's is scheduled just before Thanksgiving. We don't have money to buy him a new jacket, but I found this beautiful black wool one at the second-hand store, she explained. Would you be able to make this a little smaller? I know it's short notice. I understand if you can't do it. Everyone on the street knew Chich sewed. Since we moved to 58th Place, she had made a dress for Addie, curtains for Mrs. Gartner, the elderly German woman across the street, and repaired a zipper on Miss Elsie's blue linen dress. Our living room was also looking better each month. Beautiful new curtains hung on our windows. I will do my best, she said, looking over at the jacket. I need to measure Philip first. Mrs. Hernandez returned with Philip, and Chich took his measurements. After they left, she went into the kitchen to get a few paper grocery bags to make a pattern. It had been a while since I offered to help Chich with a sewing project, and I missed it. Can I help with the jacket, Chich? She smiled. Of course you can, Quaim. She put me to work carefully, ripping out the seams that held the jacket together, while she drew a boy's jacket pattern on paper grocery bags. Pieces of brown paper lay everywhere. Bring those old jacket pieces, she said, and let's start pinning the pattern on them. I watched her first. She placed the pattern on the fabric, pinning it down. I then took one of the sleeves and placed the pattern and the pins just as Chich had. Once all the pattern pieces were pinned, we took turns using the scissors to carefully cut the excess material away from the pattern. Where did you learn to sew? I asked. My mom taught me. She had learned to sew when she and the other kids from the reservation were forced to go to boarding school. Said it was the only thing she enjoyed. The school teachers wouldn't allow children to speak Umpqua or sing our songs. She realized that no one bothered her when she spent hours at the sewing machine, so she would hum the melodies of our songs and sing them in her head. She told herself our stories in Umpqua over and over again so she wouldn't forget. It helped her feel connected to home because she rarely got to visit her family. Next, Chich stitched together the newly trimmed black wool fabric pieces with her Singer sewing machine. Then it was time to make the lining. She showed me how to take the same pattern pieces and make them smaller. We placed them on the blue striped satin fabric and pinned and cut those as well. This time she had me take a few turns sitting down at the sewing machine to sew some pieces together. We sewed up the blue striped lining. I loved sitting next to Chich each night, working away on Philip's jacket. Like her mother, she'd be humming or singing songs in our language from back home. The night before we were to give the jacket to Miss Hernandez, Chich guided me as I hand-stitched the lining inside. Make sure to hide your stitches so they don't show, she said, taking time to review my work when I got lost in my thoughts. Good, very good. When Mrs. Hernandez came back with Philip, Chich brought out the jacket. Miss Hernandez teared up, her hands covering her mouth. Magnifico, she whispered, motioning for Philip to put it on. He reluctantly obeyed, pushing his arms into the sleeves of the jacket over his white t-shirt. Not only did it fit, but it looked like it had always been a boy's jacket. How much? Nothing, Chich said, smiling at our creation, and back at me. It's a gift. Ay, que generoso. Mrs. Hernandez clutched her heart. If you need anything at all, please ask. Muchas gracias.